and one of the most experienced guides on the Bow River. He's been at it for, I believe, about
38 seasons.
38 seasons.
Get a job.
Yeah. So if you're not particularly familiar with the bow and you'd like to learn a lot, or if you are experienced with the bow and you just want to have a good time with a friend, please consider booking your trips with Barry. And he's going to show us tonight why we don't need to book a trip with him anyway, because he's going to give us the secrets. So.
When I talked with Dave, I told him I wanted to tie a fly called the Wascally Wabbit, Elmer Fudd. And the pattern was created by Mike Maley, formerly with Wholesale Sports, before that Hookers. Before that, he was one of my guides. And now he's riding, he went to South Bow, and now he's riding a lawnmower for the Heritage Park down there. But this is one of his fly patterns, and he took a bit of Gary LaFontaine's Sparkle Caddis Emerger. So first thing we're going to mention is some of the materials. Z-Lon, S-Lon, or Antron, and you can get it in the card form there, or you can buy it on a spool. Now, I checked all over town, and I found these two items at Wholesale Sports on the north end. The winging material that he recommended is no longer available commercially, and I'm trying to figure out what the name was. But Vince over at the Fishing Hole suggested no fray wing material, and I have never used it. And I'm not going to tonight, but that would substitute. Mylar Christmas wrap would work. This stuff is a little stiffer than raffia, and it comes in a variety of colors, or it did come. And so after I run out of this material, I don't know what I'm going to do. Mike is one of those guys that he doesn't show you his fly box. He gives you a couple flies, and then after you get spoiled with them on the river, you beg him for another pattern. And so that's what we did. And he gave me one. And now I'm going to try and tie it for you. So I've been practicing tonight. The hook he recommends is not available in Canada, called a Dairiki 125. I found a substitute in Mustad's Caddis C49S, size 12. I found another pattern that would work, Daiichi's 1120, also size 12. And I could also think that you'd get away with using 24, 57, or 87, whichever is the lighter hook from Tamco would also work, size 12.
That would be 1130 then from Daiichi would like to work too.
It's got to have a little curve to it, and I haven't seen the 1130.
How much lead are you going to put on there?
Well, actually, they didn't let me put any lead on. Sorry, Dan.
What? No lead?
No lead. No.
Oh man, Barry.
Yeah, I know. It's quite a disappointment, I thought. All right. Hare's foot. Snow hare foot. And whatever colors you can find will work for this pattern, because the caddis come in basic colors from pale tan, almost white, reddish tan, to darker gray, to almost black. And so whatever you can find in a hare's foot will work. And it's one of those patterns that it doesn't matter if it's 40 degrees off a color, it'll still catch fish. I also got just the regular hairline dubbing and stuff, and it will work as well if you didn't want to buy the foot. Although you do need some of the longer hair off of the fly, or off of the, to make a wing. So the foot hair is more waterproof than the body hair off of a rabbit. So just take a little bit of this fur. There's some light fur on the back side of the foot, and we'll just take a pinch. Now for the new fly tires, when you buy a spool of thread and it says it's waxed already, instead of adding more wax, just take a little spit and put it on the thread. And then when you dub, by rolling the fur around it, you'll get a nice dubbing real quick. All right. Now, I've been a proponent of rotary vices, and Rick LeBlanc gave me this after my stuff got ripped off on the 23rd. So I'm just using the rotary capability of the vise to make the body. And you see, I'm only using about half of the hook shank, maybe to just over half, to tie the body on. Now I put the antron on in a loop back, so I got kind of a double thickness of antron. What I'm going to do is split one of these strings of antron, just split it out, and that'll give me a little bit of a trailing shuck, because I'm going to pick the other stuff up and take both pieces and then flare it out and bubble it, make a bubble on the top of the hook. Unlike LaFontaine's sparkle, I'm only going to do it on the top half and not all the way around the hook. I'm going to leave the front piece on, because I'm also going to make part of the wing with that. With the mylar material, fold it in half, fold it in half, lay it up at a 45-degree angle with the fold down, pinch it, run the thread through the pinch, pull up, break the thread. Hey, I can do it. Yeah.
Why not?
Huh?
Very. Okay if we shut off these lights?
Yeah. Yeah.
So can I offer you the advice you offered me when I was tying?
I can't remember what advice. I give everybody advice.
Just the point where you suck and or blow?
Yeah, this is true. Okay, there's a little suck. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Well, this is where you're supposed to start telling jokes while you're trying to figure out how to do suck or blow. Yeah, well, used to have that kind of stuff.
I was in Baghdad, you were staying in your dad's bag.
Hey, Rob, behave. Just about snorted. Too much spit. I joined Mike and Rodney in the drift boat. We floated from Mac down to Jensen's. And Rodney, he likes to cut off the angles in the boat, so he's in the back. I get the front slice of pie, and he gets the other 270 degrees. And he fished with the pattern exclusively. And at the end of the day, I had to listen to all the fish he caught. All the fish. So whenever I wanted to catch a fish, I had to cast over his line, and then Mike would turn the boat so I could fight the fish, and Rodney would still throw his line over top of mine and break off the fish so he didn't have to watch.
Sounds like Bertrand.
Okay, so, well, some people got excuses, Dave. All right, so now here, with the thing sitting on the back, it kind of looks like a caddis, but if you cut it at a 45-degree angle, it definitely looks like a caddis swing. Then I pull the bit of antron that I saved up over the top, and just let it sit out the top. Then I'll take some of the long hair off of the rabbit's foot, and we use that as a wing, elk-hair caddis style. And sparse is better than too heavy. And stringy, fluffy, just miserable mess is better than too smooth. Nope, not enough. Now, with this fly pattern, we were using 5x leader material on a 4 or 5 weight fly rod and 9-foot leader, and just spank it up to the bank, put it in every little bucket and hidey hole that's along the edge of the stream. And whether you're in a boat or wade fishing, you just want to fish the edge, pocket water as much as you can. Okay, so we got that on the top. Now I'll take a little bit of dubbing and we'll make a head. Now I saved some mess over here, so we'll use that. Again, a little bit of spit. Get the hair out. And just a little brush on the front. Whip finish. And the fly is basically almost done. Well, the boys were laughing before because when I did this part I broke the thread again, so I'll just put a little tension on it. Trim it off. Now watching these bugs come out of the water, it's not just a go from a nymph to a pure looking elk hair caddis. So scruffy is better. The shuck sticks with it. Now instead of cutting, just run the scissors in the V and just break the material off. And that gets you more of a sparkle. You can do that with the wing if you think it's a little bit too long. Remember, it's cut twice, measure once. Now there's the fly pattern. Put a little floating on it. And almost as good as the CFF. Rodney never lost the fly, and he fished with it for 3 months because he was only given one. And then he finally misplaced it. So we'll pass the fly around so that you can look at it. I tied this one up first when I came, so it's fairly close to the same thing.